Every day after school, I check the mailbox before Mom gets home from work. 6 weeks now, my fingers tremble as I sort through bills and catalogs, searching for that thick cream envelope with my name written in fancy calligraphy, Miss Claire Anderson. My imagination runs wild with visions of silk dresses and rose petals, of walking down the aisle before my big brother David and his bride-to-be. Did you hear anything about the flower girl dress yet? I ask Mom over dinner. Again. The peas on my plate have gone cold, pushed into a small green mountain while I wait for her answer. Mom's fork scrapes against her plate. Claire, honey, we've talked about this. The wedding plans are still coming together. But we haven't talked about it. Not really. Every time I bring it up, the answers get vaguer, the subject changes faster. David said I could help with something, I insist. He promised at Christmas. Mom sets down her fork. The clink against the plate sounds too loud in our kitchen. Claire, we need to have a conversation. My stomach drops. I know that tone the one adults use when they're about to explain something obvious that will break your heart. The wedding is going to be very elegant, Mom begins, smoothing her napkin. David and Rachel have decided to make it adults only, no children at all. The words hit like a punch to the chest. But I'm his sister. You're 12, sweetheart. Mom reaches for my hand. I pull back before she can touch me. This is what sophisticated couples do nowadays. It's nothing personal. Did David say that? My voice cracks. About me not coming? Mom's silence tells me everything. I push away from the table, my chair scraping against the linoleum. I go to my room and curl up on my bed, hugging my knees to my chest. Through the heating vent, I hear Mom on the phone downstairs. No, she's finally accepted it, she says to someone. Probably Aunt Susan. I knew she'd understand eventually. Claire's always been such a mature girl. I grab my art supplies and start working on a card for David and Rachel. My hands shake as I draw hearts and flowers, carefully writing congratulations in my best cursive. Even if they don't want me there, I can still show them I care. The paper gets a little wet where tears drop, but I keep going. The morning of the wedding dawns bright and clear. Everyone else left last night for the hotel near the venue. The house feels huge and empty, my footsteps echoing through silent rooms. In my closet, I find the dress Mom bought me for Easter pale pink with a satin sash. Put it on carefully, smoothing the skirt. In front of my mirror, I practice walking slowly, the way I imagine a flower girl should. Head high, small steps, basket of rose petals held just so. I drop invisible petals on my carpet, marking the path to an imaginary altar where my brother waits. Thank you for helping make our day so special. I whisper to my reflection, the words I'll never get to hear David say. 2 weeks later, Mom spreads wedding photos across the kitchen table. I spot David in his tuxedo, Rachel radiant in white. Aunts, uncles, cousins, over 18 beaming in every shot. The space where a flower girl should be remains glaringly empty. See, you wouldn't have enjoyed it anyway, Mom says, patting my shoulder. It was very formal, lots of boring speeches. I nod, not trusting myself to speak. Each photo feels like proof that I didn't matter enough to include. When David and Rachel return from their honeymoon 3 weeks later, they bring me a t-shirt from Hawaii. Sorry you couldn't be there, kiddo, David says, ruffling my hair like I'm still 6 years old. Maybe next time, huh? I wear the shirt to bed that night, tracing the bright hibiscus flowers printed across the front. Maybe next time. The words echo in my head as I drift off to sleep, a shadow of doubt taking root in my heart. Because even at 12, some part of me knows there will always be a reason why next time isn't quite right for me. 2 years after David's wedding, the whispers start again. I've learned to recognize them now, the sudden hush when I walk into the kitchen, Mom's phone calls that move to the back porch, the way Joel won't quite meet my eyes at Sunday dinner. At 14, I understand more than they think. The signs multiply like winter frost spreading across a window. Joel's fiancée Sarah showing me her ring, but never mentioning bridesmaids. Mom storing white tissue paper and ribbon in the craft room but changing the subject when I ask what she's wrapping. Dad's careful silence whenever wedding dates come up. The house fills with catalogs I'm not supposed to notice, thick magazines, with gilded edges showcasing reception venues and flower arrangements. One afternoon, I find Sarah's handwriting on a guest list left on the counter. My finger traces down the columns of names, searching. Anderson, Anderson, Anderson. Mom, Dad, Lauren, David, Rachel, Alex. The list stops there. Will I be at your wedding? I asked Joel one evening. We're alone in the den, some old western playing on television. He's sprawled in Dad's recliner the way he always has, but his laugh sounds wrong when he answers. It's adults only, Claire Bear, nothing personal. The old nickname stings worse than the answer. Like I'm still the baby who needed a cutesy title, not someone worth including. Later that week, I overhear Sarah in the kitchen, her voice rising above the clatter of dishes. But she's his sister. I don't understand why. Trust me, Mom cuts in. Claire understands. She's so mature for her age, always has been. The compliment twists in my chest like a knife. My maturity, once a point of pride, has become their favorite excuse. I spend Joel's wedding day in my bedroom, algebra homework spread across my desk. The house echoes, empty except for the slow tick of the grandfather clock downstairs. When the phone rings, I let it go to voicemail. 3 times, Mom's voice fills the kitchen when I go to prepare a meal. Claire, honey, just checking in. There's pizza money on the counter. The next morning, Mom spreads photos across the breakfast table, bright squares of happiness I wasn't allowed to witness. Look how beautiful everything turned out, she says, but I focus on my cereal, watching the squares of wheat turn soggy in the milk. That spring, Lauren gets engaged. My me only sister catches me after school, eyes bright with excitement. You'll be in my wedding for sure, she promises, squeezing my hands. I want you as a junior bridesmaid. For 6 months I believe her. I help her choose dresses, spending Saturdays at bridal shops where saleswomen bring us cucumber water and talk about the perfect shade of coral. Lauren holds fabric swatches against my cheek, declaring each one almost right until we find the perfect match. You'll look amazing in this, she says, and I smile so hard my face hurts. But the whispers start again when Lauren's future mother-in-law comes to visit. I recognize the pattern now. Closed doors, hushed voices, that particular silence that falls when I walk into a room. The thing is, Lauren tells me later, her voice small, Tom's family is really traditional. They think 18 is the cutoff for wedding guests. And since you'll only be 16, couldn't you wait until November? The words scratch my throat. I'll be 17 then. Almost 18. Lauren's eyes fill with tears. The venue is already booked, and Mom says, I know what Mom says. I stand up from her bed, where we've sat together planning her wedding since the engagement. I'm so mature for my age. I understand. 2 more years pass. I'm 17 when Alex announces his engagement over Christmas dinner. I watch my cousins Jennifer and Kate, both freshly 18, receive their gold-edged invitations in February. They show them off at Sunday dinner, the fancy calligraphy catching the light. I don't get it, I tell Alex in the garage later while he's fixing Dad's lawnmower. They just turned 18, I'm 17 and a half. He doesn't look up from the engine. Rules are rules, Claire. The words hit me like a slap. Standing there among the oil stains and garden tools, something shifts inside me a click, like a key turning in a lock. These aren't rules, they're choices. 4 times now, my siblings have chosen to exclude me. 4 times, they've decided I matter less than their image of a perfect wedding. That night, I delete the wedding planning boards from my Pinterest account. I unfollow the bridal magazines on Instagram. In my journal, I write 3 words. No more begging. When the whispers start for Alex's wedding, I don't strain to hear them. When Mom leaves wedding magazines on the coffee table, I stack them neatly in the recycling bin. At Sunday dinners, I pass the potatoes and ask about the weather, and pretend not to notice the invitation samples peeking from Alex's fiancée's purse. They want me to be mature about it? Fine. I'll be so mature they'll never see how much it hurts. I'll be so understanding they'll never guess that each exclusion has taught me exactly where I stand in this family, always on the outside. Looking in through frosted glass at the celebrations I'm not quite good enough to join. I focus on my college applications instead. Vermont looks beautiful in the brochures, all mountains and maple trees and places far from here. When Mom asks why I'm applying to schools so far away, I shrug and say something about their English program. I don't tell her that I've measured the distance, 8 hours by car, just far enough that no one will expect me at Sunday dinners anymore. The night before Alex's wedding, Mom knocks on my bedroom door. You're sure you'll be okay tomorrow? She hovers in the doorway, twisting her pearl necklace. We could set up a movie marathon for you, or maybe you could spend the day with Mrs. Peterson next door. I look up from my calculus homework and smile the way they've taught me calm, mature understanding. I've got this huge test Monday, I say. Actually, it works out better this way. More study time. She nods, relief softening her features. Of course I understand. I always understand. But I don't. And I never will again. Have you ever watched a pattern emerge, each repetition making the truth clearer until you couldn't ignore it anymore? Share a moment when you realized someone's actions were showing their true feelings, not just circumstances. When the acceptance letter arrives from the targeted university, I am ready to leave for Vermont, away from my family. But I will tell them eventually. During my first Thanksgiving home from college, I watch Mom arrange her good china, the plates clicking against each other as she sets them around the table. Everyone will be here soon, David and Rachel with their perfect marriage. Joel and his fiancée, Lauren, and her husband, Alex, and whatever girlfriend he's bringing this year. Claire, honey, could you fold the napkins? Mom holds out the stack of white linen, the ones reserved for special occasions. I take them without a word, remembering all the times I've helped prepare for family gatherings where I wasn't welcome. The napkins form crisp triangles under my fingers. I arrange them beside each plate, precise and proper, just like Mom taught me. Just like I've learned to be present, but not too present, helpful, but not demanding attention, existing in the spaces between everyone else's lives. David arrives first, Rachel cradling their newborn. The kitchen fills with cooing and questions about the baby's sleep schedule. I stay by the china cabinet, polishing glasses that don't need polishing. No one notices. Vermont's pretty far, Mom says later, passing me the mashed potatoes. Are you sure about this college choice? There are plenty of good schools closer to home. I spoon potatoes onto my plate. I already accepted their offer. Silence drops over the table like a heavy blanket. 5 pairs of eyes stare at me, the first time they've really looked at me all evening. When were you planning to tell us? Dad's fork scrapes against his plate. I'm telling you now. My voice comes out steady, surprising me. 4 years of being the afterthought in their celebrations have taught me to build my own life in the quiet spaces they never bothered to fill. Lauren reaches for my hand. But Claire, we won't see you. You haven't seen me for years. The words slip out before I can catch them. Not really. More silence. Rachel bounces the baby. Alex suddenly finds his green beans fascinating. Mom dabs at her mouth with her napkin. That was the last time I attended any kind of family gathering. The next 4 years passed pretty quickly, full of studying and focus only on me. After graduation, I find an apartment in Burlington. It's small, just a studio with a kitchenette and a window that looks out on a brick wall. But it's mine. Every morning, I wake up to sunlight painting patterns on walls I chose, surrounded by furniture I picked out. No one else's wedding photos stare down at me. No empty spaces where I should have been but wasn't. Join us for book club Thursday? Maria from the library staff room asks, holding up her thermos of coffee. We're reading that new mystery everyone's talking about. Thursday used to be family dinner night. I haven't been to one in years. Count me on in. The book club leads to coffee dates, which lead to movie nights. Maria introduces me to her cousin who teaches yoga. Sarah from yoga class invites me to her art show. My calendar fills with notes in different colored inks, people who text to check if I'm free, who notice when I miss our regular meetups, who remember my birthday without Facebook reminders. Your potluck contribution was amazing, my neighbor Mrs. Wilson says, returning my casserole dish. Would you share the recipe? I invite her in for tea. She tells me about her grandchildren while I write down the ingredients. Her photos show every family member, even the smallest ones. No one cropped out, no one too young to matter. The community garden plot comes with my apartment building membership. That's where I meet Mark, both of us reaching for the same tomato plant at the spring planting exchange. You take it, he says. I've killed every tomato I've ever tried to grow. I could teach you. The words surprise me. I've learned to be careful with offers, with hope. But his smile reaches his eyes, warm and real. We plant tomatoes together every weekend. He listens when I talk about work, about my book club, about the art class I'm taking. He notices when I skip over family stories, the way I edit around the empty spaces in my history. One evening, kneeling in the dirt, he asks about the gap in my photo collection. No wedding pictures of your siblings? There are 5 of you, right? The tendril of a pea plant wraps around my finger. I could deflect, like always. Change the subject. But Mark's hands are steady and the earth beside mine, patient with silence. I wasn't invited. My voice catches. To any of them. He stops digging. What do you mean, not invited? They all had adult-only weddings, every single one. The words tumble out, years of carefully managed pain breaking free. I was 12 for David's, 14 for Joel's, 16 for Lauren. She promised I could be in hers, but then she changed her mind. 17 for Alex's, just a few months too young. Every time. Mark's hand finds mine, dirt and all. Clear. That's not normal. That's not what family does. Something cracks in my chest. All these years I've told myself it was normal, traditional, sophisticated. The stories I built to make it hurt, less crumble, like dry soil. Was I really that forgettable? The question I've carried since I was 12 finally finds its voice. That easy to leave out? Mark pulls me close, not minding the garden dirt on my cheeks or the tears making tracks through it. He doesn't try to fix it with platitudes or explanations. He just holds space for the truth. I was the afterthought. The inconvenient youngest. The one they could exclude without consequences because I was too young to fight back. Too young to matter. The next week, the therapist's office smells like lavender. Dr. Chen watches me arrange and rearrange the little Zen garden on her coffee table. Your family taught you that you don't matter, she says quietly. But you kept their secret, protected their image. Why? The tiny rake makes patterns in the sand. I thought if I was understanding enough, mature enough, they'd see me differently. And now? I am not sure, I responded. But I have changed, focusing more on myself all these years, I said. My hand stills. The patterns in the sand look like the paths I've been carving away from them, one choice at a time. After the therapy was over, I went home. The text from David arrives on a Tuesday that same week. Madeline's christening next month. Family only. You'll be there? I look around my apartment at Maria's painting on the wall, at the tomato plants thriving on my windowsill, at the photo of Mark and me covered in garden, dirt, and laughter. My thumbs hover over the phone. The old Claire would have said yes, would have shown up with a gift and a smile, taken her place in the back row where she wouldn't disturb the perfect family picture. I'm busy that weekend, I type instead. Good luck with the christening. I set the phone down. My hands don't shake at all. A month later, tomato plants bow heavy with fruit in the community garden, their leaves brushing my ankles as Mark leads me down the narrow path between plots. Late August, sunlight warms my shoulders and the air smells of basil and ripening vegetables. We reach our plot, the one where we first met 2 years ago, both of us new gardeners with more enthusiasm than skill. Remember how you taught me the right way to stake tomatoes? Mark kneels beside our thriving plants, adjusting a vine. I kept doing it wrong until you showed me. I laugh, remembering his determined expression as he wrestled with twine and bamboo poles. You were so worried about hurting the plants. I still am. He stands, brushing dirt from his jeans. But you taught me something important that day. Sometimes you have to be firm to help things grow strong. The evening light catches something in his hand, a small box, dark velvet. My heart stutters. Claire. His voice carries the weight of certainty. You showed me how to nurture things properly. How to build something beautiful from the ground up. He opens the box, revealing a simple gold ring set with a pearl. Will you marry me? Tears blur my vision, but I see him clearly. More clearly than I've ever seen anyone in my life. You see me, I whisper. You really see me. Always. He slips the ring onto my finger. It fits perfectly, like his arms around me, like his heart understanding mine. Between kisses, we agree. A small wedding, meaningful and true. Only people who matter. My voice carries a quiet confidence I've never felt before. Our wedding will be different. A week later, we sit at my kitchen table, a bottle of wine between us and a blank piece of paper before me. The pen hovers over the space where sibling names should go. David, Joel, Lauren, Alex 4, spaces that should be automatic, family, blood. My hand moves past that space, writing other names instead. Mrs. Wilson, who brings me soup when I'm sick. Tara from college, who drove 6 hours when Mark's mom died. People who show up, who see me, who stay. Are you sure? Mark asks softly. watching my pen skip those 4 vital spaces. I lift my eyes to his, and my smile holds peace instead of pain. More sure than I've ever been about anything. The call comes 3 days later. Mom's voice crackles through my phone speaker, confusion building with each question about ceremony details. But when are we discussing the family invitations? We aren't. The words come steady, certain. There won't be any. No siblings. Silence stretches between us, pulls taut like a rubber band about to snap. Then, you can't be serious. Her voice rises, sharp with disbelief. This is spite, pure childishness. No, Mom, this is peace. The rubber band breaks. Calls flood in, one after another, my phone buzzing like an angry hornet's nest. Joel first, his lawyer voice trying to reason with me. Then Alex, all careful logic about family obligations. David, playing the eldest, threatening in that soft way of his. Mom and Dad won't come if you do this. Lauren calls last, her tears trickling through the speaker. But I'm your sister, your only sister. You were my sister when I was 16, too. My voice stays level, though my hands shake. 6 months, Lauren. You couldn't wait 6 months so I could be at your wedding. That was different. We had to consider extended family, venue requirements, adult-only policies, traditions. Each excuse falls from my lips like stones. I've heard them all before. 4 times before. I hung up without further consideration. Later that evening, the porch swing creaks beneath us as Mark and I watch the sunset. Another text lights up my phone, the third from Mom today. I block the number without opening the message. Mark's arm settles around my shoulders, solid and warm in the cooling evening air. I'm proud of you, he murmurs into my hair. I lean into him, watching golden light paint the sky in colors no one can exclude me from seeing. For the first time, I say, I'm proud of me too. Truth sits in my chest like a flower finally breaking through soil, reaching for light, growing strong. No more bending myself small enough to fit into spaces they never meant to make for me. No more pretending their excuses didn't shape my world. The wedding will be in our garden. Small, true, filled with people who choose to see me. And in the space where siblings should stand, there will be something better. Peace. A month later, the doorbell chimes just as I finish addressing the last wedding invitation. Through the front window's gauzy curtains, I spot 4 familiar silhouettes on my porch. My siblings, standing shoulder to shoulder like a firing squad. My hand trembles as I set down my calligraphy pen. The muscle memory of making room for them, of stepping aside, of shrinking myself small threatens to take over. But Mark's voice echoes in my mind. You deserve to take up space. I open the door and plant my feet firmly on the threshold. No invitation to come inside. Claire. David steps forward, his banker suit pristine even in the autumn heat. We need to talk. Lauren pushes past him, her mascara already smudged. How could you do this to us? The words they've rehearsed tumble out in a practiced cascade. Family means forgiveness. Blood is thicker than water. What about Mom and Dad? Each phrase lands like a stone meant to wear me down. Alex, ever the lawyer, delivers his closing argument. Now you're just doing what you accused us of, excluding family from your wedding. A laugh bubbles up from somewhere deep inside me. Not bitter or hysterical, just genuine amusement at his perfect lack of understanding. No, I say, my voice steady. I'm making one choice. You made 4. The silence stretches between us like a rubber band about to snap. Joel shifts his weight, uncomfortable the way he always gets when emotions run high. Lauren breaks first. Everyone's talking about it. Aunt Susan called Mom crying. What will people think when your own sister isn't invited to your wedding? And there it is. The truth beneath coordinated assault. That's always been the problem, hasn't it? My fingers trace the doorframe, finding strength in its solid wood. What people think, not how I feel. That's not fair, David protests. We were young, we didn't think. The word slices through his excuses. Let me remind you exactly what happened. My voice remains calm as I recount each exclusion. David's wedding when I was 12, still believing I'd be his flower girl. Joel's 2 years later when his fiancée wanted me there but got overruled. Lauren's broken promise about her wedding, claiming she couldn't wait 6 months for me to turn 18. Alex's final betrayal, watching 18-year-old cousins receive invitations while I sat at home at 17. Their faces shift as the memories land, Joel examines his shoes. Lauren wraps her arms around herself. David's jaw clenches. We were different people then, Alex argues, but his voice wavers. No. I shake my head. You're exactly the same. Standing here worried about appearances, not relationships. Trying to force me to make you comfortable instead of acknowledging how you hurt me. Claire. Lauren reaches for my hand. I step back. We're sorry. We were wrong. Please don't do this. You're not sorry you hurt me, I say softly. You're sorry there are consequences. There's a difference. The phone rings inside. I know it's Mom before I answer, just like I know exactly what she'll say. My siblings' expressions confirm they orchestrated this too. Claire, honey. Mom's voice wobbles with tears. Your father and I won't come without all our children there. The words should shatter me. Instead, they clarify everything. Then I'll miss you at my wedding. My voice stays gentle, just like I missed being at all of theirs. The silence on the other end stretches long enough that I wonder if she's hung up. Then, barely audible, you don't mean that. I do. For the first time, those two words feel like a promise to myself instead of others. I love you, Mom, but I won't pretend anymore. I end the call and turn back to my siblings. They stare at me like I'm a stranger speaking a language they don't understand. Maybe I am. Claire? David starts again, but I hold up my hand. No more speeches. No more guilt. No more pretending we're something we're not. I step back inside my house. I hope you all have wonderful lives, but I won't spend mine begging to matter. The door closes with a quiet click. Through the window, I watch them huddle in a conference, probably planning their next strategy. But I'm already turning away, back to my calligraphy pen, and the invitations for people who've proven they want to be there. Later that night, I find Mark in our bedroom, studying a family photo from Christmas years ago. 5 siblings squeezed onto a couch, my smile a fraction too bright as I tried to prove I belonged. Second thoughts? He asks, wrapping his arms around me from behind. I touch the glass, tracing the space between me and my siblings. Always there, even in photos. No, for the first time I'm being honest about our relationship instead of pretending it's what I wished it was. Mark kisses my temple. You know what the hardest part of watching you go through this has been? What? Seeing how extraordinary you are and knowing they missed it. Their loss, sweetheart, their loss. I lean back against his chest, breathing in the familiar scent of his soap. The photo shows the family I tried desperately to be part of. But here, in this moment, I'm building the family I deserve on that sees me, includes me, celebrates me. One invitation at a time. 2 months later, sunlight streams through sugar maple branches, casting dappled shadows that dance across 80 white chairs. The morning air carries hints of wildflowers and fresh-cut grass. Mrs. Wilson, my next-door neighbor for the past 3 years, stretches to adjust a bouquet of black-eyed Susans and Queen Anne's lace. Her weathered hands move with practiced grace, each stem finding its perfect place. Just like my own garden, she says, stepping back to survey her work. Natural, not too fussy. I touch a lantern hanging from a nearby branch, its glass cool against my fingertips. Paper lanterns line the winding path between the chairs, ready for tonight when Mark and I will walk beneath their glow as husband and wife. My college roommate, Sarah, appears at my elbow, squeezing my hand. 2 seats in the front row remain empty, stark white against the green grass. The wedding coordinator hovers nearby, pen tapping against her clipboard. We could wait another 15 minutes, she offers. Sometimes traffic. No. The word comes out soft but certain. Everyone who's coming is here. Sarah's grip tightens. She remembers those endless nights in our dorm room, my quiet tears after each sibling's wedding. She was there when Lauren's invitation never came, 6 months before my 18th birthday. The violin music begins, floating through the garden like a summer breeze. My hands smooth the simple silk of my dress, no lace, no beading, just clean lines and honest fabric. My feet find their rhythm on the grass, each step deliberate and sure. Mark waits beneath an arch of climbing roses. His eyes fill when he sees me, and a tear slips down his cheek. No shame in it. No attempt to hide the depth of what he feels. This is what love looks like when it's real. When it's earned through 1,000 small moments of truly seeing each other. Marriage, our celebrant begins, her voice carrying to the last row of chairs, is about the family we choose. The ones who show up, who make space, who say you matter, not just with words, but with presence. Mark's hands tremble slightly as he slides the ring onto my finger. I choose you, he says. Not just for today, but for every day. To notice, to include, to cherish. My voice stays steady through my vows. No more trembling little girl, hoping to be worthy of attention. I choose you, and the family will build together. One where everyone has a place at the table. At the reception, tables overflow with the people who filled my life with meaning. My first grade teacher who still sends birthday cards. The librarian who saved me a quiet corner during high school lunch periods. Coworkers who became friends. Neighbors who became confidants. Professor Jenkins raises his glass, his bow tie slightly crooked. Family isn't just born, he says, wisdom earned through 40 years of teaching shining in his eyes. Family is earned, built, chosen day by day. The room fills with genuine laughter, real stories, not the polite fiction of family obligation, but the truth of lives intertwined by choice. My heart feels full, complete. No hollow spaces where siblings should be. Little Sophie, Mrs. Wilson's granddaughter, catches my bouquet. Her small hands clutch the flowers as she runs up to me, blonde curls bouncing. When you have another party, she asks, can I come? I kneel down, my dress pooling around me. Sophie, you will always be included. Always. Mark watches us, love and understanding written across his face. He knows what those words mean coming from me. The weight of them. The promise. Later we stand beneath a canopy of stars, Vermont's mountains dark shadows against the sky. Sparklers trace golden paths through the night air. Mark pulls me close, his lips touching my ear. Our family, he whispers. We'll do it differently. I lean into him, watching the lights dance. The story I was given tried to write me small, tried to tuck me into margins and footnotes. But that wasn't the only story available. Here, surrounded by people who choose to see me, who make the effort to show up, I've written my own. My face feels peaceful, muscles relaxed in a way they never could be at family gatherings. No regret shadows my smile. No anger tightens my shoulders. Just the quiet certainty of forward motion, of a path chosen with clear eyes and an open heart. The sparklers fade to ember, then ash. But the light inside me burns steady and bright, lighting the way toward tomorrow.